Dear God, I got one question. I need to know, do revolutionaries go to heaven? And if so, may their legacies last forever and their seeds grow. Tell them that we love them so and never let them die slow. It's like we cursed to be born black. We was kings and queens, now look where we at. I know it won't be long before we take it back. I just hope I live long enough to see it happen, and that's a fact. Cause one thing when you pro-black, you might love your people, but they may not love you back. For more than 400 years, we've been under attack. We survived slavery and then they gave us crack. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? 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 I wanna know. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I hope so. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I wanna know. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I hope.
There we go. What's up, man?
Peace, King. How you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
All is well, man. It's definitely an honor to have you on the platform. I truly appreciate you.
Absolutely. My pleasure to be on your platform, and anyone who's a historian like yourself, man. It's just an honor to be a part of it, man.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get right into it. For the viewers who may not know, let them know what your name is, and definitely let them know where you're from.
Yeah, sure. My name is Tobin Costen. Grew up all over, but been living in the Bay Area for so many years. People know me as TC. Some people know me as Big Tobe. And most people know me from my time running No Limit Records and partnering up with Master P. And then they also know me from my time basically distributing Shortstop Records' biggest album, Sittin Fat Down South, Lil Troy, with the Wanna Be a Baller project on it. And then other people know me from doing things like the Wet Boys and putting some Chopped and Screwed albums out, and then working with King George, who was a independent star in his own right.
Right, most definitely, man. You named some giants for sure. Let me see. My next question is, okay, now living in the Bay Area, how did you get exposed to hip hop? Was it already out in the community at that time, or was it something you seen on TV, or was it on the radio?
So, I grew up in Europe because my father was in the military. So I was always traveling to New York to spend time with my grandmother and with my brother and my sister. So what I would do is, we'd go to New York City and, you listen to WBLS. There were hot records that were out there, but a lot of times going to play basketball and hoop, you'd hear hip hop just being played on the radios back then. So everybody had their jam boxes or boom boxes, and people would just play that music consistently, and I just fell in love with it. So a couple records that I heard that I just kind of made me fall in love with hip hop. One was Sucker MCs by Run DMC. And another one was UTFO, rest in peace to my man Kangol Kid. That was Beats and Rhymes by UTFO. Man, I heard that record and I just was a real big fan of the sound, and I wanted to be a part of it. Now, prior to that, I was, you'd hear, tapes and stuff with Kool Herc, and you'd hear records of all kinds of projects. But, Sugar Hill Gang was like big back then when I kind of, really learned to love hip hop as a youngster. But I think the thing when I wanted to make a living out of it is when I heard that Beats and Rhymes by UTFO, and then I heard that Suck MCs by Run DMC, then I knew, I wanted to make a living out of it.
Wow, most definitely. Shout out to the Kangol Kid. I was following him, you know what I'm saying, his journey and everything. I definitely would have loved to have them on the show, man. Rest in peace.
Man, rest in peace, man. Like an incredible artist and person and producer, and it's sad that he's gone because I was one of my favorite rappers of all time. UTFO is one of my favorite groups of all time. And the way their wordplay and their music and working with Full Force, they were just incredible pioneers in hip hop and the whole Roxanne challenge. And it just, everything that they did, I just loved. I loved what they did. So, and I love the way Kangol's voice inflection was different. And, I loved everything those guys did.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. Now, when did you move to the Bay Area? Like what year?
So I moved to the Bay Area in 1993. So I had lived in Europe most of my life, grew up. I lived in Texas for a bit. I lived in Oklahoma for a bit, but pretty much most of my life was in Germany. And I lived in Ramstein and Bremerhaven and Landstuhl and Würzburg is where I graduated high school. And when I graduated, I went to college up in Spokane, Washington at Gonzaga University. And then when I left Gonzaga University and graduated, this is when I came down to the Bay Area. So during my time in Washington, I had met Master P and started working with him, kind of remotely because he was obviously in California at the time. So then when I was done with school, I immediately came down to the Bay Area and started working with him full time.